Yes, I am in my pajamas. I actually didn't really want to show up, but Mike is in my room right now. It's too early in the morning. He doesn't want to be on video. But we
Oh,
were having
it's only 11, but I haven't
yeah.
eaten.
We were having a really good conversation, and we've had these conversations before. Um, on my channel, we used to talk about drugs and addiction because it's a big part of Pure Love and Beyond. And I didn't choose for it to be a part of it. But when I came out here 2 years ago and I met Mikey, and he wasn't, he was on alcohol, lots of alcohol for years, 15 years, since he was like 14. So 14 years since you were like 11.
My first drink I had when I was 12 years old, I was working in the barn.
So that has been one of his demons. And then later, I only knew him for about 3.5 weeks.
Well, that wasn't one of my demons. It just helped bring out the remainder of them.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but we were just kind of getting in like a heated discussion, or I was getting heated, about just having honest conversations with each other and yourself. And, you know, I was imagining somebody that I love in this room, and me and Mike and the other person sitting here and us talking. And I was saying, you know, what are your addictions to Mike? And what do you want to be off? And what are my addictions? Because I'm for the past year been accused of being on drugs. And so he's like, well, you are on drugs. You're on nicotine and caffeine. And they're some of the hardest ones to quit. And I know that. So I know what I'm on. I'm honest with everybody. My team, myself, my community, my following, of what I'm on. I smoke and drink coffee right out in the open. And so it's about being honest with yourself, with your team, with your family, with anybody who could help you. And if you're not honest, that's when you go. That's what we've set up out here. If somebody can't be honest, if they can't, you know, we love people, we have compassion for people, we know how hard it is to be on something, but also want to be off of it. And you get to decide that as a human. What do you want for your life? What do you want different? You know what you want, you're on. You've addressed, you know, the 2 or 3 things or 4 things that you're on. Maybe one of your addictions is being a workaholic. Maybe it's not even an actual drug addiction, or maybe it's negative thinking. But right now, on the ground level here at Pure Love and Beyond, we are still dealing with addictions. And this place will never turn into the Pure Love Farm and Retreat without our team on the ground, without a cleanup crew, without me being out here. And I've been told that I've fallen. I've fallen because I'm wearing pajamas, living in a fixer-upper, and I'm not in a fancy bedroom wearing lingerie and a crown. Look, that's all just what you see. Like, I'm not going to be fake, and I'm not going to paint a picture of I'm a beautiful queen just so that you perceive me as a queen. I am a walking, talking queen right here in my pajamas without any makeup on. Just waking up, having a team meeting, even if it is only one teammate right now, about what we really stand for and how important honesty and open communication is. Even if you don't tell somebody for 3 days or 3 months, whoever stands up and tells the truth is he who wins. That's who I give another chance. That's who I wipe the slate clean with. Mike doesn't really have first warning, second warning, third warning. You know, he's done a few things, but he's always come to me honestly and said, I didn't want to tell you, but I had to tell you. It was eating me up inside. I can't not tell you what's going on. So, you know, we were having like, I was kind of having this imaginary conversation of having this other dude that lives out in Arizona sitting over there, and him being honest with himself, with me, with Mike.
Can I grab a drink? You want something?
Yes, a water. One of my waters. There's a couple left. And saying, this is what I'm on. This one, and this one, meth or ice and blues and fentanyl and ketamine and whatever, I don't know, okay? Like I said last night, I have cards from a rave. I smoked a little bit of weed and I went to a rave, like, I'm talking like a year ago in Tucson, Arizona, after spending 10 months alone in my bedroom. Went out and danced a little bit. And when I was there, I picked up like 15, 20 different cards that had all the different drugs on them. But I don't know all those drugs. I've never experienced any of them. Oh, I don't want this kind of water. I want the...
Celsius. Right?
Yes, Celsius.
Well, you gotta be a little more clear on that one.
Sorry. I said one of mine. There's a few left.
Well, I mean, this isn't your house. It's one of yours. Get there.
No, that's family water. Mine is mine. Mine is only in the fridge. They're on the bottom shelf.
Still water.
It's yummy flavored water.
It's still water.
It is. It is
It's still water.
kind of with all kinds of additives.
It's still water.
Oh, this one's frizz free peach mango plus green tea. I like these. They're like $2.50 each. Kind of expensive. Just don't like opening them. So, you know, how are you building your life? How are you building your relationships? Whether it's a lover, whether it's a teammate, whether it's a friend, whether it's a child, a family member, an adopted son. Mike is like an adopted son to me. How are you building that foundation? Is it on trust? Are you really friends? Because a true friend, you can go to a true friend and say, I'm struggling with this. I'm doing this. I'm on this.
It's still gonna take you a lot. So.
I don't want to be on it. It's going to take you a lot to tell them.
It still takes you a lot to say it. A lot of times there's a lot of guilt that fucking it just eats at you until you have to say it.
Yeah. How much is the guilt hurting you? How much is the regret hurting you? How much is hiding behind a fucking mask with multiple different characters hurting you? Are you going to face the fears? The fear of rejection? Because I could have kicked Mike out when he came to me with honesty. He knows that I won't. It's probably... So, hey, he's doing it for selfish reasons. He knows that if he's honest, he gets to stay. Nobody else does.
Really, I was kind of expecting that you were going to kick me out.
And I did say, is there any other place for you to stay? Because I was thinking about strike number 3. And when strike number 3 comes, is there someplace else?
Not really.
But the thing is, Mike coming to me and telling me about a situation that's been going on for a couple months on my property that I didn't know about it. It improved our life for him to tell me, because it allowed me to make the decision and stick firm to my rules of that's not allowed. I've been very clear about it. It's not allowed. So we removed 2 out of the 4 people on our property because he came to me. Like, This is my property. I make the rules. If you have property at a house and a family, you make the rules. Or maybe if you have a partner. When I had a partner, my husband, we made the rules for our children and our property. Now it's just me. And Mike enforces some of those rules. And when he messes up, he tells the truth. Hey, I broke the rule. He didn't say it in that way, but...
Well, no, I gave you a conversation to read and left it in there for you.
Hey, yeah, he couldn't straight out come to me and say it. He kind of had to show me a message to tell me what was going on. But he knows I'm not going to yell at him. He knows, he doesn't know.
Well, yelling at me isn't really going to get anybody farther.
Well,
I already know I fucked up. I don't need any help figuring that one out.
we don't need to yell at each other here. It's a peaceful property. You know, maybe it's different with him and his girl. Maybe they get a little more heated, but she's a strong female and she doesn't put up with shit. Why? Because she cares. She cares about Mike. I care about Mike.
Sometimes, but or I may not feel like she does, but she does.
I care about other people in my life or not in my life. Or I wouldn't make videos. Now, I don't always keep videos, okay? Especially if I'm not wearing cover up. I mean, whatever. Sometimes I can get really upset. I've been really upset on videos and I don't like to keep them up. And somebody had messaged or commented on a video today and said there was a video that really meant a lot to me. I'd like to find that again. I don't know what video it is and I don't always keep them up. You know, I wish I could. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take that down. I don't know why it's on there. My bed is a mess right now too. I'm looking at that. I didn't prepare. So really, I think the main thing that I wanted to say, because I've got other work to do and we got to go get cat food. There's 12 cats here. They got
mine.
3
I
cans.
probably do need cat dog food.
So our truck is not doing so well. We need to replace the turbo. I don't actually have the cash to do that right now because I invested in business. It's a little stressful driving 15 minutes one way, 30 minutes to go get food for the cats, and knowing that, you know, every single time we're doing that, we could be
I should
risk.
actually stick the jump pack in there because if it doesn't want to start and put down the battery for 5 minutes, it charges the starter to want to go sometimes.
If the engine goes, it'll still go. You'll just start hearing like something, like a knocking. So, so we are trying to like sort of not drive the vehicle, our truck, the Pure Love truck, and you know,
doesn't get used for work at all.
I called a mechanic and we're checking on the price of the turbo and if our engine and both turbos are going to have to be replaced. And then we're waiting for somebody to come out to the property to help out with that so that we have an extra vehicle. So, you know, hey, sometimes there's vehicle problems, and when you're driving a $30,000 truck, you've got to weigh the options. Do we get this fixed? How much are we going to put into it? Is it better to, you know, should we spend $5,000 to rebuild the engine and the turbos, or should we get a different truck? And that's kind of where we are right now, trying to decide. We've got another truck that's just on the property, but there's insurance and licenses and registration and all this crap that goes along with living in modern day world and having vehicle and reliable wheels. So that's just a little side issue. But does it kind of make me like, I mean, hey, the cats need to eat. We got 12 cats. We got to get them food. And nobody delivers out here. So we got to go take the truck. So I got to do that.
It's just going to cost you a fucking arm and a goddamn leg too.
Well, if they did, it would be cheaper than the gas and the time and the losing the engine. But I don't know who's going to deliver food within the next hour.
No, not an hour. It'd be like 4 or 5 hours. 6. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe we'll look into that after I get off this video. But I would have to say one of the most important things to me is honesty. How honest are you with yourself and the people around you, your family, the people that you love, or even the people that you don't love and don't even know? I have consistently shown up on this channel. Yes, I deleted a lot of videos, but I have been showing up on social media. I took a little break for about 2 years after my husband, the year that my husband was dying, and then after, for about a year. And then I was on social media. I started, and I was showing up almost every day. Whether I was crying, I was sharing my life, my feelings. I was calling people out, and I still am now. And the one thing that I pride myself on, you could say, is truth and honesty. I have said openly who I've slept with. I have said openly what's going on in my life and what we're dealing with. I have no reason to lie about drugs. If I had a problem with meth, I would make a whole channel around it. I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm not ashamed of how I look. I'm not ashamed of my family or my friends or my team, because I don't really consider people friends. I don't know. I'm real standoffish like that. But I'm not ashamed of my team. I am very disappointed if a teammate that we've been working with for 2 months lies to me. And I'm, very disappointed in another man in my life that continues to attack me falsely. And he really needs to get some help. And there is plenty of free help out there. Start with the videos that I've posted. I'm listening to one right now, Narcissist Empath, The Light and the Dark. They're both chosen ones. One's chosen to be dark and one's chosen to be light. Okay, so if that's the case, then understand that. Understand what you are. Are you light? Are you dark? Which side are you on? And understand that if you're dark and your whole goal is to set out to destroy somebody, then you're not going to ever be with the light person that's trying to rise. So accept it and move on. If you decide that you're not dark and that maybe you are light and that you do want to rise and that you do want to be around that person and with that person and building something with them, and you can stop your fucking judgment and cutting down that person and falsely projecting onto them, then maybe there can be change. Mike and I have talked about it. In his relationship, he wasn't so good when he was on meth. Neither of them were good to each other.
I wasn't very good after, even when I was trying to sober up and trying to get off the addiction. I was actually very fucking mean and horrible towards her.
And she was too.
She
That
gave me the same emotion I gave her right back at me.
mirroring each other, back and forth, okay? And that's what the mirroring just happens in relationships. But that drug makes you be an asshole. And you can see it.
It alters your personality altogether because there's a lack of sleep in there. There's lots of things that your body needs that it's not getting because you're depriving it.
So I don't know this because I'm on meth or I've ever been on meth. I know this by talking to Mike because he shares songs, feelings, stories. I've watched his progress.
I ain't perfect. Don't ever think that, 'cause I ain't far from it.
Exactly. And neither am I. But I'm honest. And I'm sick and tired of this lame ass guy coming after me and lying. Just tell the truth. Find something to tell the truth about. And you know what? I don't need him to say, you're doing this and you're doing this and you're going to fail and you're never going to succeed and it's pipe dreams. Just talk about yourself. Stop telling me what I'm doing and falsely accusing me and telling me my dreams and goals aren't going to work. focus on yourself. How many times do I have to say it? Like, are you really that dense in the head? Get off the fucking drugs. Or, you know what? Stay on them. I don't care. But just be honest with yourself. And don't turn it around and say it's me. So, that's it, man. That's it. I got tons of videos. I stayed up till 3 o'clock last night making videos for Pure Love Oracle. All just one deck, root work. Really good deck. I guess in a way I just channeled. I picked up cards. I don't know. I don't even know what I did, but I know I got a ton of videos that I need to edit and get off of my phone and figure out how am I going to, where am I going to put those? Am I going to just upload them straight to YouTube and then release them slowly? Because I got to get them off my phone because I got 22 more decks, 21 more decks that I've got to make videos for and schedule it all out for my other channel so that I can sell one of our products. And then I've got to move on to creating a different product. I've got a lot of relationship products that I want to work on. And then I still have live events that I want to do. But it's a little bit hard to do my live events when we're down a guy or two. I was hoping that we would have another guy join us, and we might still. We might have one. We might have let one go. We might have said, no, we can't have the other one ever on our property again. We might say this to girls too. But the right people will come.
There's always a possibility even that same person come back and change too. Not saying he could be back on the property, but that's at your own discretion too. I mean, if he was able to change and bring his fucking attitude up and maybe be honest with himself and everybody else around him, it might just change his life as well.
Yeah, and I think that is the one thing that Mike and I both carry or hold that's very similar. And that is to not just look at blanket statements of people never change. We always hold that like 1% or 5% chance that somebody will change. And I've seen it with people on stage. I've seen drug users, hood guys on stage making millions of dollars. So because I've seen that firsthand, and no, I wasn't in my pajamas and in my bedroom for this. I go to live events. Check out I was on stage a couple weeks ago.
Cheers.
And Mike has seen it too, in some way. First of all, I think he's seen it in himself. And I think he's seen it with some other people. So when you see that people can change, you kind of hold that space for everybody that you meet. Sometimes they're never going to change. We have talks sometimes.
No, I mean, that guy lost my respect, so.
Yes, and sometimes when you lose respect, you never regain it. But
It's going to take a lot for me to fucking respect him again.
For sure. Yeah.
Right,
And when
his
somebody
mouth about the
lies to
wrong
me,
fucking person.
it's hard for me to ever trust again. And lying doesn't have to be straight out lying. It can just be withholding the truth. There's like 8 different kinds of lies. So, yeah. You know, it's hard enough to live in this world being an honest human being. You add in dishonesty or any other low vibrational things, and you're basically fucked. All right, I'm going to go. You got anything else to say, Mike?
No, not really.
Peace.